Take a long, deep breath and hold it. As you do, something remarkable happens inside your body. Your heart rate slows. The blood vessels in your extremities begin to constrict, redirecting oxygen-rich flow toward your brain and your heart. You didn't choose to do this. Your body simply knows how it is, an ancient, subconscious survival mechanism called the Mammalian Dive Reflex. It is a reflex we share with seals, dolphins, and whales. Yet, we are told our ancestors were creatures of the dry, dusty African savanna. We are told we became human by chasing game across the searing heat of the grasslands. But there is a haunting disconnect between the story we are told and the bodies we actually inhabit. Look at your skin. Unlike almost every other primate on Earth, you are essentially hairless. In the animal kingdom, profound hairlessness is rarely found in land mammals. You find it in creatures that spend their lives in the water: hippos, walruses, and manatees. Fur is a magnificent insulator on land, but in the water, it becomes a heavy, soggy liability. Then there is the matter of our body fat. Humans are uniquely cobby compared to our primate cousins. We possess a layer of subcutaneous fat that is bonded to our skin, much like the blubber of a leopard seal. A starving human still has more body fat than a healthy chimpanzee. On the savanna, this extra weight would be a metabolic burden, a heat trap that would lead to exhaustion. In the water, however, it is the perfect buoyancy aid and thermal barrier. For decades, the Savannah Hypothesis has been the bedrock of human evolution. It suggests that as the forests of Africa receded, our ancestors stood up on two legs to see over the tall grass and began to run down their prey. It's a compelling image, but it fails to explain why we became the only primate to develop a nose with downward-facing nostrils. Perfect design for preventing water from entering the sinuses while swimming. In 1960, a marine biologist named Sir Alister Hardy looked at these anomalies and proposed a radical alternative. He suggested that there is a missing chapter in our history, a period of several million years where a branch of our ancestral line was forced by competition or climate change to live along the tropical seashores. He called it the Aquatic Ape Hypothesis. Hardy's idea was largely ignored by the scientific establishment until it was championed by a writer named Elaine Morgan. She pointed out that the savanna theory was built almost entirely around the lives of male hunters. Ignoring the physiological reality of the human female and child, she asked a simple question: how does a hairless, slow-moving, sweating primate protect a newborn on a plain filled with lions? The answer might be found in the water. In the water, gravity is neutralized. A bipedal stance isn't just for looking over grass. It is the only way a primate can keep its head above the surface while wading in search of shellfish. The very transition to walking on two legs, the defining trait of humanity, may not have begun on the dirt, but in the shallows. Consider our diet. The human brain is an evolutionary miracle, but it is also a biological glutton. It requires massive amounts of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA, to develop. These nutrients are incredibly scarce on the savanna, but are found in abundance in the marine food chain. Without the steady supply of iodine and fish oils found at the water's edge, the rapid expansion of the human brain might have been biochemically impossible. If this theory sounds far-fetched, look to the sea nomads of Southeast Asia, the Bajau people. For 1,000 years, they have lived on stilt houses and spent most of their days underwater. Recent genetic studies discovered that the Bajau have developed significantly larger spleens than the rest of us. Their bodies have evolved in real time to act as a biological scuba tank, injecting oxygenated red blood cells into their circulation during long dives. We often think of evolution as a finished book, but our bodies are still whispering secrets of a damp, coastal past. We are the only land mammal that can voluntarily control our breathing, a prerequisite for both diving and for the complex speech that built our civilization. A chimpanzee cannot be taught to say "ah" on command because it lacks the breath control that we likely perfected while bobbing in the surf. There is a reason why a toddler who cannot yet walk will instinctively hold its breath and kick its legs the moment it is submerged in a pool. There is a reason why the smell of the sea air and the sound of crashing waves bring a sense of profound peace to the human psyche. We are drawn to the water not just for recreation, but perhaps because it is the environment that sculpted us. We may never find the smoking gun fossils of an aquatic ape, as the shifting coastlines of the ancient world are now hundreds of feet beneath the rising oceans. The evidence of our shore-dwelling ancestors may be buried under the very silt they once waded through. But we don't need to dig into the earth to find the truth. We only need to look in the mirror. Our saltwater tears, our oily skin, our hooded noses, and our layers of insulating fat all point toward a different origin story. We are not just the apes who learned to run. We are the apes who returned to the water. And in that transition, we found the traits that made us human. The next time you dive into a lake or stand in the shallows of a beach, pay attention to that feeling of weightlessness, that sudden silence as the world above vanishes and the cool pressure of the water embraces you. It isn't just a physical sensation, it is a homecoming.